Hi everyone, I'm Ben Jones with Data Literacy. I want to talk today about the 7 factors of data literate teams. Now, these 7 factors are used as the basis for the team-based data literacy score assessment that we just launched that helps teams ask the question, are we making effective use of data? Are we speaking data fluently with one another? And so I'd like to talk about these 7 factors and how they relate to each other. So let's start with something I think we're all familiar with, which is this 3-factor triangle of people, process, and technology. So in the one corner, we have people. What are the skills and abilities of the people on the bus? We have our organization's processes, so the way we convert inputs into outputs and value, as well as our team's technologies. So what are the tools that we have at our disposal to make use of raw materials? Now, oftentimes people want to break out data from tech because it's such an important raw ingredient, and I totally agree. But when they do that, they want to put it in the middle, which I'm not really agreeing with because to me, data isn't the point. It's not the end of all of our objectives. It's a means to an end for converting value, for achieving our organization's purpose. So I'm going to put purpose in the center, right? Let's put it where it belongs, in the middle. So what are we using data to achieve our purposes, our primary goals and objectives, or are our teams using data for little side projects that don't really impact the bottom line? So that's an important question for all the teams to consider. Another factor, though, is data. I do believe we should call out data separately from tech because it has just become such an important resource for us. What is the quality of that data? Is it available and accessible to people who need it when they need it? Are we refreshing it? Is it updating? So those are questions to ask as we consider our team's data literacy level. So 2 more to go, and one I think is often forgotten, but it's really, really important. In fact, in some ways I kind of put it as this overarching umbrella or roof above this whole structure, and that is ethics, right? Okay, ethics is one that we've left behind. What ethics does is it allows us to shelter our team members from the unfortunate scenario of doing harm with data, which they don't want to do. They wake up in the morning, just like you and me, they want to do good things. And so do we have an ethical culture that makes sure we're using data for good, protecting people's privacies, seeking to eliminate biases, okay, protecting sensitive data? Those are questions that we need to ask ourselves because ultimately, what good is a highly data literate team if they use that for harm? It would be better if they didn't have that data literacy at all, right? Okay, last but not least is the 7th factor, which in some ways is a combination of the other 6, but it's culture. So these are the values, the norms, the behaviors that describe our team-based interactions. And so, that might be everything from reward systems we have in place, that might be different kinds of ways we conduct meetings, have conversations with each other, what is an appropriate way to use data as we make decisions, who is involved in the conversation. All of these things to me kind of embody that really important factor that organizations have woken up to, which is culture. That's what unlocks a team's data literacy. So together I'd like to consider these 7 factors, and as I mentioned in the data literacy score assessment, we go through these one by one with each team and kind of break them down and try to give them an overview of what their strengths and weaknesses are as they look to try to improve on data literacy going forward. Well, I'd like to know your thoughts about this. Would you take one factor out? Would you add another? Do you think about them differently? Would you add anything to the mix here? Feel free to leave a comment below, and I would love to know your thoughts. So with that, I'll sign off. Thanks for everything, everyone. Take care, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.